Scorpios, hello, hello, my loves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Scorps, we have the mother, the stone, the medallion, the offering, the cave, and the siren. I guess we'll start with the mother because the mother is the idea of like holding on to an identity, and it's like when you cling to an idea, and I feel like Scorpios, what this is an idea about yourself. When you cling to an idea about yourself, you cycle yourself through that idea over and over and over again. That's your cycle, right? It's your identity. So you're clinging to an identity that you're cycling yourself through, that is feeling, I just kind of want to say, like, get it off. Get it off, get it off, get it off, get it off. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that identity. That's not who, like, that's not who I am. Like, that's what this card feels like to me right now. I feel like there is something that you are really, really wanting that's being offered to you that is like, I just feel like it almost feels like the ultimate setup. Like, it couldn't get any better than that. Scorpios. Okay. This does feel like a relationship to me. It doesn't have to be a relationship, but it feels like a relationship. But this is just the idea of really being anchored in an idea of intimacy, you know? And intimacy is such a poorly conceived construct to me, like in like modern society terms. You know what I mean? Just because intimacy is knowing someone, intimacy is, I don't know, I just feel like, well, and the Scorpio's energy is so fluid and so strong, but it's like a healthy Scorpio can have such a conscious awareness of the people in their lives. And a healthy Scorpio uses that awareness to heal and gently tend to another human being, another energy in their life. And I don't know, Scorpios. I don't know, because I almost feel like you're the one that's offering this. I almost feel like you're the one who's like, and obviously these are general reads, so take what resonates, how it resonates, and leave the rest. But, do with it what you will. Whatever it is, I feel like there is this idea of anchoring into a sense of like true, like deep intimacy, like that's what that feels like to me. But it's requiring you to shed an identity that you've clung to that I think kept you very surface level, very like, I don't really want to be intimately aware of this person, you know? And I think that's kind of like like the energy that you existed in. And so, like while you were clinging to an identity of like being in a relationship, you weren't really wanting the identity of that relationship. You weren't really wanting to be intimately aware of that person in the way that you were capable of. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're not wanting to withhold that. It's almost like you saw it for what it was, and now you're able to let's do clarifiers because this is juicy. Scorpios, what's good? I mean, for my Scorpios who are already in a relationship, I would say that you're able to really like dive into that next level of intimacy with your partner. Um, but I think that, and if it's not a love relationship, it could be a job, like a job opportunity where you feel like it's a job that you really want to understand. It it challenges you, and I think it makes you more aware of yourself. Um, Passion projects. I don't know, y'all. These are general reads, like I said. But let's do clarifiers, yeah? Okay. We got cards. What did we get? Ooh, love. Okay. I really do think it's a relationship for a lot of my Scorpios. Okay, let's see here. A message, a message. I don't know. I don't know if you're sending or receiving this message, but it just feels like this message. Um, and I feel like there is this sense of, you know, a recognition of well, this feels like somebody who's very conscious of themselves. But I almost feel like this exposure, this sense of vulnerability, this desire to step forward with vulnerability rather than guardedness, because it's a like it's something that you've recognized in yourself. And I almost feel like maybe this person does something that somehow, like, I almost feel like they acknowledge something that they did, and in acknowledging themselves, like you acknowledge it. Like I feel like you feel inspired to acknowledge it about yourself. And the guardedness, I feel like the protection, I don't know who this is, but this is like the idea of like the protection that should be offered is one of abundance. And that's an abundance that includes vulnerability and a desire to, and a decision to end, because I feel like that, like it was almost like this first step, and that first step was just terrible. And that first step, and just terrible. I mean, that could be really, because this can resonate at different levels for different people. You know what I mean? um, but a decision to really bring that lack to an end, um, because I think that what you want to be protective of is somebody that you feel like matches your sense of personal growth and development, awareness of the world around you, somebody who is able to take it as deep as you are, because you felt like you've been caught in this identity and you just want to get it off. Scorpios. Okay. With like one card flip, maybe? Scorps. Ten of Swords. Damn. I mean, that's an aggressive end, right? That feels like a a cutting ties. You know, for a lot of my Scorpios, I mean, Scorpios have a long fuse sometimes and a short fuse sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you ever have somebody tell you that they have a really long fuse and then you watch them get like hella irritated, but like try and keep it under control? So they're like, it's like, is your fuse long, or are you just sitting on it like a Scorpio? You know? Um, the Two of Cups, the Two of Wands, and the Magician. I mean, the Two of Cups is the idea of two people who are separate, but they know that they'll be together again. And I feel like you're partnering with somebody who I don't know. I just think you feel a connection with this person. You know, I don't know, because I think that we meet certain people at certain times in our lives for a reason, and you don't have that connection with just like any person in the world, right? Like it's like you've like with this person who you're like drawn to. And I feel like you haven't been drawn to a person like this in a while, if ever, depending on my Scorpios, you know, because I feel like there's this pause, this point of separation. But something about that, like it just like it doesn't feel right to you. And I feel like for you the magic is in the sense of you are open to allowing yourself to be vulnerable from the get-go, and that taps into like that depth of connection that you're capable of, and I think extends into this offering that you're making. I don't know, but I'm rooting for you, Scorpios. Okay, let's see. What else can we get for y'all? Scorps. The World. An end. I don't know. It just feels like the end of a cycle, you know? Yeah. The Emperor in the World. Again, this decision to bring a cycle to an end. And I feel like, again, with that intimacy and that intuitiveness, you know, like Scorpios, if they're not really interested in like diving in, you feel it. You know what I mean? Like you feel that pullback. And I feel like this is, I just feel like this desire to dive into the intuition and intuitiveness of another person and reciprocate that, not just demand it of people. But again, you know, maybe you just hadn't met that person yet, and maybe you're going to meet this person, and when you do, for whatever reason, you have some kind of weird interaction, and when that weird interaction occurs, it triggers you somehow to feel like, you know, you recognize your inability to be vulnerable at the onset, and that it's not fair to the relationship, it's not fair to that other person, you know, and so you're choosing to no longer do that, you know. The Poet and the Vow. Well, the vow is you know, like a promise, and I feel like there's this sense of like, well, it's such a Scorpio thing. I mean, like, finding the beauty in the darkness, you know, like finding the beauty in all of the nasty, you know, taking something and turning it into a beautiful experience. That like I just feel like very committed, Scorpio. I feel like you feel very committed to this. Um, and again, if it's not a relationship, it could be, you know, like an opportunity where you felt like maybe you weren't sure you were going to get it. Maybe you had an interview and you were like, I don't know how that interview went. That did not feel like it went well. You're feeling kind of bad about it. And then you get it. And it's the one that you wanted the most. And you find out that it's something that you are really passionate about, you know, and you're like, this is something that I can do and something that I can feel comfortable with and not feel like I need to run from it, not feel like I need to shut myself out from um, the joy that life has to offer, right? Because you're the one who stops your own joy. I don't think that you always consciously do it, you know? Um, and I think that's why there's that sense of discovery there. And I love that, truly. Um, Either way, it's a fucking fantastic read. And I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for sharing your energy with me and your time with me. And yeah, if this did resonate, please do give me a like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all again soon. Bye.